Hi, and thanks for visiting my channel. My name's John Vito. I've been playing guitar professionally for about 50 years, and in those years as a guitar instructor from time to time. What I'd like to go over with you today is how to make your guitar playing easier and more efficient, and easier ways to go from chord to chord, because beginners can learn how to do chords, but the biggest issue they have early on is going from one chord to another. You may be at that point where you're having a little difficulty making quick changes between chords. My goal in teaching is to help you solve that problem. So I hope you want to look at this solution to that problem, and then we can move on from there. So what I just did was a very standard progression: D, G, D, A. So it's very common in guitar music because all those chords don't require a bar chord. And they're the three primary chords of the key of D. The D is the 1 chord, the G is the 4 chord, the 5 is the A chord, back to the 1 chord. It's a natural cycle of tension and release in music, and consonance and dissonance going back to the 1 chord. There's your theory lesson for today. But the thing is, to do it quickly, let's take the D chord to the G chord. Now, if you notice, on the D to G, every finger has to change string. That's the first issue you're dealing with. And the second thing is the G is pretty tough because these have to go from here to here. So you have a lot of movement. Okay, let's stop there. You're on the D chord. Okay, get the D chord going here. Now you have first finger, third finger, second finger. This is the standard way to play the D chord, and frankly, it's probably the most efficient way to play it for open chord acoustic guitar playing. Now let's do this. Let's take your first and second fingers off, but leave that third finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and put your pinky down here on the 3rd fret of the E string. And actually, if you play the bottom 4 strings, you have a G chord. So D, G, D, G. That 3rd finger does not change position at all. We call that an anchor finger, and your fingers can pivot on that finger. And if you notice, my wrist, my elbow, everything stays in the same position. To complete the G chord properly, you'd probably need to put the 2nd finger down here on the 3rd fret, the 1st finger here on the 2nd fret of the A string. So you got, so D, A, but leave the 3 and 4 fingers down here. Okay, that's the D to G chord. Now we're going to do the D to A. So the D to A has several issues for a lot of guitar players. The D is like this, and then you have to move the 3rd finger, just slides down, which is very convenient for the A, but you have to now put the 1st and 2nd finger above it like this. The problem with that is your wrist has to change angle to get those 3 fingers in that position, which sometimes pushes the elbow out. After playing for 20 years, so 30 years ago, I discovered that I stopped using this A form because there are many ways to play a chord, and I found that that was not efficient in pretty much any circumstance I played an A chord. And the way I learned to play an A on my own, because I was taught this A chord just like everybody else, is to go from this D chord, leave the 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, slide the 3rd finger down here, and then just move the 2nd finger to the D string on the 2nd fret. So that's A, D, A. And you can do that rapid fire. See how little motion is involved in that? So it's Let's go to the D, G, A again. It's D, G, D, A, D, G, D, A. And the third finger has not left the B string on any of those chords. That is what will make it easier for you. If you are struggling with changing between chords, you just have to adapt a little bit the way you play those particular chords in the fingerings to make it easier. There's no reason to keep doing a difficult chord change when there's a much easier solution. So I hope you like this lesson. I have some others on similar issues with this, and I hope you can view those too. And thanks for stopping by.